Hey guys, welcome back. If you missed last week's episode, we demolished half our portside saloon to rip out some rotten wood and redesign the space to work better for us. And let me tell you, it was pretty nerve-wracking. But once we started, there was no turning back. This week, we continue rebuilding the cabinetry and dive into templating and cutting our new teak and holly floors. Stay tuned. We made it. Brandon, the absolute legend, came and picked us up with all our wood. So yeah, we've got our old teak and holly flooring here so we can template it up. And then we've got the other wood to varnish. So I'm just gonna give the bottom of these a quick sand just to take the rough edges off and little bits of stuff so that when we lay it on the new teak and holly we don't scratch any of it and make more work for ourselves. Alright, so we're just gonna go and get our 4 sheets of teak and holly and then we're going to template up all our sheets and cut them. Oh, look at that.
I know, it's sexy, mate.
Yeah. How nice is that? We ended up choosing the American style teak and holly, which has slightly wider spacing between the holly lines. The wider lines look a little more modern and less busy than the traditional thinner stripes. It still feels classic and timeless, just a bit cleaner and more updated, which is exactly what we're going for. Alright, good news. We have just realised we can actually do this out of 3 sheets. So because we haven't got the whole template laid out in the exact kind of boat shape, we're just gonna have to make sure we match the lines up where we need to, kind of more for this side. We've pretty much got this whole side down pat, and then we've just had to, move a few of these sections in different spots. But yeah, that's one less sheet that we need, which is great. A little bit less that we have to spend, so it always helps. Yeah, absolutely stoked with that, 3 sheets.
I think we've just got about 3 panels to line up and then we are good to mark out and start cutting. Let's try and work it out. So we need, obviously, to line that up with that one up there.
Yeah.
So did you go in that room and have a look? Because this is the back panel that's in the garage room. It needs to line up with...
the kitchen one.
It needs to line up with this one, actually. So we need to figure out where that goes. I'm pretty sure that's like that, isn't it?
Other way.
Other way?
Yeah, because that pointy bit goes towards the engine, not away from it. Unless you've got that flipped around.
It does? Okay.
Let me double check that.
I think you're right. This bit should be the same. Oh, what's going on there? Why do the lines not match up?
I just don't think it matched to begin with.
Didn't it?
No. So, just like the total noobs that we are, we forgot to take photos of like all the panels on the boat so we could see where the lines matched up. Luckily, I took a random video a few weeks ago, kind of just trying to show like the chips on all the wood. And so we're kind of able to like go through the timeline and see where it matched up. But yeah, it probably would have been a lot easier if we took some photos and made some kind of markings maybe just to tell us where they line up. Anyway, we'll get it done. Okay, Jason's getting somewhere now. Just trying to butt the lines or match the lines up because we're not running the whole thing, like I said, down the sheets. So we're just trying to use as much space on the 3 sheets and not have to use a 4th sheet, but it does just make it a little bit harder with trying to match up all the lines. This would be a whole lot easier if we didn't have lines in the wood, but it looks good, so we're going with it. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see our floor space. So this gives you an idea of how much floor space we actually have now. And this one has a table on top of it, so that takes all the space. And that one has the mast pole coming out of it. This is the 2 back cabins. And that one is our front cabin that we sleep in. Yeah, really not a lot of floor space that we live in, indoors anyway. These sheets are 4x8, and we're using 3. And we've still got some room to spare.
All right, so the most confusing thing was the panels that we have now are the teak and holly is wider than our narrow teak and holly. So it was really hard pairing the lines up, but I think we've worked it out. We're just gonna mark it all out now.
The only thing is, like, there's bits like this where like the edge isn't perfectly busted up. Yeah, look how worn that bit is. All right, we have templated all down that end to move the panels off. The only thing that we're worried about is because the blade kind of minuses about 3 mil and we've butted these perfectly up to each other, so we're probably going to lose a little bit of wood for each of those cuts, which means we could lose like 12 mil all up. So I'm just hoping that should still be okay, and obviously when varnish goes on it as well, it will just add that tiny little bit back on. We've been wanting to redo our floors for quite some time now, so we're honestly so excited to be finally doing it. It's one of those projects we've talked about for ages, and it feels really good to actually see it happening. We're ready to make the first cut. We're pretty damn nervous.
We need to turn it around, darling.
Here we go. Huh?
We need to turn this round.
Oh no. Yeah, we're rusty after a few days off. Anyway, I'm gonna pop you guys on a time lapse. Okay, so we are doing our first jigsaw cut because some of this line is curved. So yeah, we're hoping we get this pretty smooth, but obviously we can try and sand down the edges, just smooth it out a little bit because the jigsaw obviously you can't get perfect.
We don't have the best jigsaw either.
And the other thing that we forgot to bring is the little, what's it called? The thing that does the circle cutouts.
Oh, the hole saws.
Yeah, to do the circles where you actually lift up the piece of the planks. All right, little update here. It's about 3:45 in the afternoon. Like all boat jobs, you're very enthusiastic about what you're gonna be able to finish in one day. We thought we were gonna be able to sand and do 2 coats of varnish today, but we're not even finished cutting yet. But we're on the last panel, so we're on the home run. And this is the most simple, I think, out of all of them to cut. There's not too many cuts. Let's try and get this done, hey, before they close up.
Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yeah, there. Right, we didn't quite finish everything yesterday. We got 2 more panels to cut out of our 3 sheets, which are the back 2 panels.
And then we're on to just a light sand.
Oh, then we've got to do the holes for everything. So
oh, the holes, and then also some of the cabinets. We still need to cut a few bits as well.
Yep.
Morning.
Hey, good morning. What's going down?
He sees the camera. He's like, woohoo!
Yeah, everything's pretty darn good. You guys doing all right? Looking good?
Yeah.
So we have finished cutting all our floor panels now. Now we just need to do the little holes that your finger goes through to pull the panels up off the floor if you need to get to the bilge area. Luckily we remembered to do the little template of where the hole was. So first we tried to make the hole like while leaning on the chipboard underneath, we just went through from the top and it kind of splintered the underneath a bit. Then we tried going in from the top and then from the underneath a little bit and then the top to finish it off just to make sure we were still in the same spot. And it kind of started burning through it a little bit. So we're just doing it off the edge now. We seem to have it down pat, but yeah, it does get really hot. Jason just burnt himself on the bit, so.
This is the moment we all been waiting for. Come on, muy perfecto. All right, I'm out.
Back to work?
The other way. What are we doing now? A little bit of water. Just getting hot. Oh yeah, baby. Just let that cool down.
We kept the old floor panels around in the workshop for way longer than we wanted to, just to double check the new ones against them. We really didn't want to get it wrong. So being able to finally toss them out felt so good. Goodbye to the damaged, tired old floors and hello to something completely fresh. Alright, drawers are happening, coming together. We've got a few box drawers done.
One complete.
There's a full one.
What you're going to see is this base, but it needs to be veneered.
Varnished.
Varnished.
Yeah.
This will all be varnished inside. This is going to have a little, what are they called? Drawer
Push
stop.
button lock.
Push button lock. It's going to be on some slides. But yeah, it's come pretty good. Day 3, baby. Let's do it. What a backdrop. We didn't have enough clamps to do all the drawers, so we're just doing our last drawer.
And we ran out of time. We've made a few boo-boos of like just doing the ply the wrong way on the inside, but it's not really going to be too obvious and it's going to be inside the drawer. So the other thing we're thinking is we could really line the base of these drawers with some kind of material, like some non-slip kind of stuff. So when we're bouncing around and heeling, the stuff's not slamming back and forth in the drawers. Just creates less annoying sounds in the boat. And it's probably better for our camera gear. Oh, look at that service. Thank you. We decided to make our own little wood chocks out of some scrap ply instead of buying painter's pyramids. All right, all our chocks are cut and sanded. How cute are they? I don't know why, they just look cute, like little licorice cubes. You know those lollies? Cool. So yeah, obviously if we just put them all this way facing up, they should all be even.
How's the service? Oh yeah. So we're going to do all the varnish upstairs.
We're just going to put all the chocks down, lay all the wood, where we can actually walk between all the panels, so we can easily get around to actually varnish and between them all. And then I will mix up the varnish. Okay, so we are going to mix up the varnish. So we're using Total Boat Spa Varnish in Gleam, the amber one, because obviously we want to match it with the rest of our boat. We will do the initial coats with gloss and then we're finishing with satin. So you only do the last coat in satin so that it still has like full clarity. If you do all of the coats or like many coats with satin, it starts to make it a bit cloudy looking. I believe the gloss is like really what kind of hardens it and protects it well. So yeah, we're gonna mix that up. First coat though, we put some thinner in, and we really wanna do these coats quite thin anyway, because all it is protection. This is not for looks whatsoever. This is on the underside of the floors and the inside of the cabinetry. So yeah, leave a couple of hours in between coats. Should at least get 2 coats today, maybe be able to flip it around and do the other side, but I think we might just do the undercoats today and then maybe bring our vacuum in and really make sure the top side is prepped well for tomorrow. We absolutely love this varnish from Total Boat because it dries really quickly. In the right temperatures, you can get up to 3 coats on in a single day, which makes a huge difference when you're working on a project like this. And the best part is, as long as you stay within the recoat window, you don't even have to sand between coats, which saves so much time. First coat is done. It looks really dark up here because we've got no light. Now to wait, say 2 hours, and then second coat and all the underside's done. Okay, we have had a lunch break. We have waited basically 2 hours and we're gonna start with our second coat. Trying to start obviously with the ones that we started with first and going around so that we finish the one we finished last again. Also, this coat, we're not putting any thinner in. We found that the underside of the floors was like obviously quite thirsty because it's a bit more rough. So yeah, hopefully it won't soak so much in. Porous.
Alright, we are on day 2 of varnishing. We were only putting two coats on the back side. The front side's going to have 6. The cabinetry is going to have 3. So I should get the cabinetry done today. The floors, we're going to have to wait another 48 hours to let it cure a bit, give it a light sand and put the last 3 coats on it and then wait another 48 hours. So my job today is to turn all the panels around and give it a really good clean and start getting my arse into gear and varnishing.
We decided to do 3 coats of varnish on the cabinetry since it's not a high traffic area and it's not getting walked on every day. The floors are a different story though. Because they get so much use and take a bit of abuse, it's actually recommended to apply between 6 to 8 coats to really harden and protect them properly. We honestly didn't know this before researching for this project, but apparently you're also meant to lightly sand and recoat all the varnished areas on your boat every year as part of regular maintenance, which we definitely have not been doing. So just a little tip if you're new to boat life and want to keep everything looking fresh, stay on top of your varnish. Good morning. We are back again today for like round, can't even remember, of varnish. We are just sanding with 320 grit blocks today before we keep going with some varnish. So this is what it's looking like. Looking pretty good. We did sand just before this coat and add a little bit of thinner again because we did find that it was like just a little bit bumpy. We've had a lot of temperature changes recently. Also, we're not professionals, so it's not going to be as good as someone using a spray gun or whatever to spray varnish. But yeah, hopefully once it's all in, you won't notice any little imperfections and it's going to look a whole lot better than what we had there, that's for sure.
This is going to be the moment of truth.
We're on the final satin coat. So we're giving it a nice slow stir so we don't upset it and put too many bubbles in there. But the floors are feeling good. Everything's feeling pretty glossy and even now that we've done that next coat. Before installing the new floor panels, we decided to lightly sand the underlay. It just helped take away any rough spots and made sure that we had a nice smooth surface to lay them on. All right, the boys are strapping us in.
No, don't go, not cool. Make me do it. Honestly, quite honestly, thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your journey.
Aw.
Really, it's been a blessing to have you guys. It's been really fun for our team. It's been neat watching your perspective on the stuff. Quite honestly, just talking with you guys and listening to where you've been, it's an absolute blast. People around the world only dream of being in your shoes and hopefully one day will be in your shoes. You're an inspiration for those kind of guys and we love that. So thank you again for coming.
Aww.
That's awesome. Thanks. Bless you.
Thank you. All right, it's a an exciting time here on Escapade. Is this what it feels like when people renovate their houses and they get to see like the reveal of their bathroom and stuff? Because this is really exciting. Anyway, we are back. Chase, the absolute legend, gave us a ride back in the ute. Yeah, we're ready to put them in and fingers crossed it fits and we've done it all properly and we don't damage anything on the way in. They're not absolutely perfect varnishing wise, but we might be able to do some touch-ups at some stage. So we were just pretty eager to get them back here, but they do look pretty good. We're pretty happy. Oh my gosh, look at that. That is bloody beautiful. One little corner where the trim is, where it's just not fitting perfectly. Okay guys, we've made one small mistake. For the bilge, we must have got this panel somehow mixed up the wrong way around when we did the hole, and so the hole goes into the grid instead of through where the bilge is. So we can obviously just drill another hole here, but we're going to have this random hole that goes to nowhere, unfortunately. Anyway, something was bound to happen. After days of hard work, it feels so good to finally see the fruits of our labour coming to life. We're absolutely stoked with how it turned out for a couple of noobs. We've both learnt so much throughout this process and we can definitely add a little bit of carpentry to our skill set now. We really couldn't have done it without the team at Well Panel Products. They were so fun to work with, helped us every step of the way and genuinely made us feel supported throughout the whole project. And of course, a huge thank you to Total Boat for always supplying us with the products we need for the job. We love their range and we really appreciate how accessible, affordable and reliable their products are for projects like this. It's coming together. We have the lounge area back together, so I'm gonna put all the stuff back away. These drawers are proving the most difficult out of everything so far with the cabinetry, but he's on the home run.
No way.
It's just really hard to get the drawers to slide in nice and easily, I guess, hey?
Yeah, I cut them all too big, like 3 or 4 mil too big.
Yeah, so you've been sanding them down.
Sanding them down, cutting them down. We also didn't cut the square, we didn't cut the face on the angle that it was supposed to, so we've had to cut all that down.
Hey?
Yeah, Janae mainly.
I tried to tell you. I'm only joking. And then just need to attach the bench top and do the trim around the sides and like trim around the edges, put a vent in where the fridge is down there so that it's got airflow at the front to suck in air. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. Yep. Alright guys, I thought I would just come on here in real time to finish off the episode. We have finished the floors, we have finished the cabinetry. The only thing we're waiting to have done is to have a cushion made, so it doesn't look completely finished at the moment because that will just be the last finishing touch, obviously. It's looking great. It's been super functional. We've obviously been living with it for about a month now, and the drawers have been a game changer for just keeping everything organized and actually being able to find everything when we need it. It was actually quite affordable to do this as well. We used about 1.5 sheets of teak veneer ply, but I think we probably could have done it in 1 sheet. It was more just because we did make a few changes like halfway through, a few little mistakes. So I think you could definitely do it out of 1 sheet, obviously depending on what you're doing and how big your boat is. And with our flooring, we ended up using 3 sheets, which we were absolutely stoked with because we thought that we might have to use 4 sheets, so that saved a little bit of money there, which is amazing. I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so we have our drawers here. We use the same face of wood for the frame and the drawers so that it all sits flush. That wasn't our original idea. I kind of did want drawers that sit in front of the whole frame and kind of like the drawer is the entire face of it. But yeah, that was going to be quite difficult to do because of where we did the shelves. So we ended up with this, but we think it looks quite nice, obviously with the whole grain going through the whole thing. We did end up putting a lip on here so we can actually open the air fryer. But it does stop the whole thing coming off the edge, and we've got our little ice maker there. I'm not a huge fan of the look of the top of this. I would love to get something more like this. This actually needs varnishing, so excuse that. But more a lip like this, it's curved, because I think it will just blend a little bit better with the rest of the boat. So we might change that at some stage, but you do need to find these pieces, obviously, for the front. We also ended up finding these little latches on Amazon. They were a little bit difficult because they were a little bit thicker. So we ended up putting like a backing piece on here so that we could use them, but they're nice and smooth and they haven't been sailing yet properly, but they should. I mean, they feel super solid. They lock the drawers nicely in place. Yeah, we're really happy with those. It's quite hard to find stuff like this. Then there's this area here. So the freezer is encapsulated in there. We did run a vent here, which is where a vent is at the front of the fridge freezer. And there's actually a whole big area back here that we left free for ventilation. However, we do tend to get a little bit of condensation on the top, and I am worried when we do end up putting a cushion there that it is going to make the cushion damp. So we probably will try to, I don't know, maybe see if we can put like some holes in this or something, or another vent to see if that helps. And then obviously this will be covered in with a cushion as well, the same height as here, which will be quite nice because it will hide where we do like put little knickknacks that can look a bit messy, and obviously it will hide this kind of ugly area here. And then obviously we raised this area here so that the whole thing, we can make one flush lounge area. Yeah, so we think it's going to look amazing. And then obviously our flooring, which we are so happy with, 1,000,000 times better than what we had before. It's made such a big difference to the look of our boat, because obviously, you know, some of this wood is getting quite old and there is like chips and a little bit of damage and stuff on it, but now that you can see the nice new floors and this whole area that's new, it just makes it look, yeah, a whole lot nicer in here. So very happy. I did want to mention quickly as well, because we have had quite a few people interested from other areas of the US or even overseas. World Panel Products does actually ship overseas and all over America, and I think they're one of the only suppliers of the Teak and Holly flooring. If you are not in Riviera Beach in Florida, you can definitely still order through them. The team were just so fun to work with. We absolutely loved it. So thank you guys, and yeah, obviously thank you again to Total Boat, because they always supply us with the goods. We've got lots of projects coming up in the near future with some more of their products, including anti-foul. So obviously you guys will see all of that content coming soon. We will talk to you guys soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, come say hello in the comments. Cheers.